All praises to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations to all the true, sincere brethren around the four corners, pushing out this purified truth, cleansing this wicked, defiled kingdom with the word, and to the rest of the church who believe. The water to Yahweh Shai, because without him, none of this would even be possible. Okay? 2 Timothy 3:1. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come, for men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasure more than lovers of God, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. From such turn away. So here in these last days, we are in some perilous times. In other words, we are in some dangerous times. We are in a time where men are into themselves as women. Women are into themselves. Pride has polluted the whole earth. People are disobedient to parents and their spiritual parents as well. People are liars. Brotherly love doesn't really happen in righteousness. Sisterly love doesn't happen in righteousness. People are consistently whispering about somebody else, trying to slander somebody's name, putting their own selves before Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, which is why they commit adultery and do all sorts of rebellious acts, which leads to witchcraft. They claim to love the Lord, but really their hearts are far away from the Lord. They don't know anything about Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai whatsoever. So here in these last days, these are the things we have to expect. And you know men are very proud, which is why when we put the truth out, many people who resist it, it's not only non-belief, but it is also pride. They can't imagine seeing men in garments who are Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans who have the truth. They see it as awkward or lame, just another guy. A lot of that falls into pride. So seeing that when we go out and teach, we are teaching in front of the eyes of evil, troublesome people, prideful people. Okay? So now that I've read that, let's jump to 1 Timothy 6. Let's start at 3. If any man, 1 Timothy 6:3, if any man teach otherwise, and consent not to wholesome words, which goes into the full doctrine, even the words of our Lord Yahweh Shai Mashiach, and to the doctrine which is according to godliness, which is the doctrine that we push. We push the doctrine according to godliness, according to Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai. And we had to humble ourselves. We had to relearn everything we thought we knew. We had to forsake all the things that we thought we knew. Okay? And became new creatures in Yahweh Shai. If any man teach otherwise, and consent not to wholesome words, even to the words of our Lord Yahweh Shai Mashiach, and to the doctrine which is according to godliness, he is proud, knowing nothing. So going back to what I read in 2 Timothy, many people are proud. So for those who have heard this message, if they speak contrary to the doctrine after hearing the doctrine, that goes back to pride itself, because they think they have it already, so they don't need the truth. Okay? He is proud, knowing nothing, but doting about questions and strifes of words, whereof cometh envy, strife, railing, evil, surmisings. So you have those who act like they know it all, and then they try to bring up questions just to start arguments. Questions to try to entrap you in your own words, to have you looking silly in front of the eyes of the people who may be listening. Okay? He is proud, knowing nothing, but doting about questions and strifes of words, whereof cometh envy, strife, railings, evil, surmisings, perverse disputings of men of corrupt minds, and destitute of the truth, supposing that gain is godliness. From such withdraw thyself. So anyone who's speaking contrary to the scriptures, you're supposed to separate yourself from them. Anyone who's asking questions to start arguments because they're not sincere, they're just questions to trap you, you're supposed to separate from people like that, or just ignore them, because they don't have the truth. They are without the truth. Perverse disputings of men of corrupt minds, and destitute of the truth, supposing that gain is godliness. From such withdraw thyself. And that's the doctrine this world teaches, is that gain is godliness. If you own a church building and you have a huge congregation and you drive a brand new 2018 Cadillac and you have a nice big fancy house, you go to work, then when you get off, you wearing your suit and tie, and people are seeing you, and you look fancy in the eyes of the world, so people might respect you more. People may go to your congregation to listen to you because they feel like, well, this guy is gaining. This guy has it all, so maybe I should listen to this guy. Because many think that gain is godliness. Also, the wicked people who do these things, seeing that they are pretty much increasing in this world, they remain in their evil. They remain in their evil ways, supposing that gain is godliness. That is the doctrine of this world. Okay? Perverse disputings of men, corrupt minds, and destitute of the truth, supposing that gain is godliness. From such withdraw thyself. But godliness with contentment is great gain. So to be content is great gain. If you have a job, you have a car, you may not have the nicest car, you may not have the nicest home or whatever, but you have these things, be content. If you don't have a car, but you have a job, or you don't have a job, but you have a car, or you may have a car, but you don't have no money in your pocket, you may have some money in your pocket, but you don't have a home, be content, because the Lord will see you through each and every time. The Lord knows our minds. He weighs out our hearts. And the Lord, He will increase you. Especially seeing that you're content and your primary focus is not money. So seeing that many feel like gain is godliness, is gain godliness? Well, let's see who prosper in this world. Because in the eyes of the world, gain is godliness, right? This is Psalm 73. And let's start at verse 3. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. So gain is not godliness. Many times when people gain in this world, it's because they're wicked. The wicked prosper. And at times, you may find yourself getting envious seeing these wicked devils out here increase, living a life of happiness and everything is just going their way, but then you're struggling just to pay bills. You can't get your woman in order completely. You can't invest in a business. You can't receive any business loans. So when you see the wicked prospering, you may get envious. But the beautiful thing is, gain is not godliness. But contentment is godliness. To be content with the things you have is godliness. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. Let's jump down to 12. Behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world. They increase in riches. So the ungodly prosper. Okay? So to think that gain is godliness, you're far from wrong. Really, gain is wickedness. Because that usually means you are doing wicked things to get there. Because if the world has been given to Esau, the so-called white man, the wicked, how could you become rich in a wicked society being righteous? Oftentimes to be rich in this society, because money itself isn't the problem. Okay? Money's fine. Money's a weapon. But to love money becomes evil. And these elites, they love money. Okay? They love to have dominance and control over the whole world. So although they increase, they prosper, well, they're the wicked. Because they're ungodly. Okay? Gain is not godliness. Behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world. They increase in riches. Okay? So seeing that they increase in riches, the whole world is under their vibration. Okay? And the reason why, well, let's go to Proverbs 19:4. Wealth maketh many friends, but the poor is separated from his neighbor. So Esau, the so-called white man, they have control of this world. They've been the one promoting that the one you know as Jesus is a Caucasian. The one you know as Apostle Paul and Peter and, all the men within the scriptures are Caucasian. And people believe it because, well, Esau being given the world, they're rich right now. So of course people believe it. Because wealth makes many friends. But us, within this truth, we're just normal guys, man. We're not all rich and powerful. So when we speak things, people don't really consider. Wealth maketh many friends, but the poor is separated from his neighbor. A false witness shall not be unpunished, and he that speaketh lies shall not escape. And that happens a lot within the court system. Esau's constantly speaking lies to try to trap Jacob. All right? And he won't go unpunished for it. There are many false witnesses within this world who have gotten plenty of people caught up in very evil and ill situations. And you won't escape for that. Verse 6. Many will entreat the favor of the prince, and every man is a friend to him that giveth gifts. Why? Because wealth makes many friends. Okay? So even when we try to bring out this truth to certain Israelites, a lot of times, if that Israelite is doing really well for themselves, they're not trying to hear this truth. Because they feel they have many friends, because they have money. So they have people in their corner. They have Edomite buddies. They have Ishmaelite buddies. They have Moabite buddies. Okay? Because wealth maketh many friends. But at the end of the day, if you don't have the truth, none of that matters though. Okay? None of that matters if you do not have the truth. All right? Now, seeing that the wicked prosper in this world, we are rich. Okay? And one of the things that's proven that, We can stay in Proverbs. We can jump back to Proverbs 10. And 21. The lips of the righteous feed many, but fools die for want of wisdom. The blessing of the Lord, it maketh rich, and he addeth no sorrow with it. So we are rich through our wisdom, okay? It may not feel like it, but because of our wisdom, we are actually rich. So although the wicked prosper in this world, we are going to prosper in the world to come. That's what we are fighting for. We are investing for the kingdom, okay? When you invest in something, you may not be able to reap the benefits right then and there, okay? But this truth, what we are involved in, this is an investment for something later. So our wisdom brings us riches, okay? This is the real riches. Let's jump to Romans 11 and 33. Oh, the depth of the riches, both of wisdom and knowledge of God. How unsearchable are his judgments and his ways past finding out. So we get our riches through this wisdom. We don't care about the riches of this world. The ungodly prosper in this world. Gain is not godliness. But typically, the men within this truth, if we are the elect, we are the richest people in the entire universe. Okay? Because we are going to be given everything under our Lord Yahweh Shai. Okay? Oh, the depth of the riches, both of wisdom and knowledge of God. How unsearchable are his judgments and his ways past finding out. So we're rich. All right? This is Revelations 2 and 9. I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. So although we're catching hell, although we're in a low state, we're actually rich. And our riches start with the wisdom, knowledge, and the understanding. That's how you are going to receive a beautiful kingdom, is through the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding and applying it. I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, because that's what the real Israelites are facing right now. More so those within the truth. But thou art rich, and I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. So originally this was speaking to those wicked Jews within the nation of Israel. But today, this can apply to the fake Jews, the Amalekites, okay, which are of the family of Esau. So seeing that we may not have the whole world in our hands, we may not gain, we may not prosper like we want to, always consider that we are rich. Just see yourself as a man with all the money in the whole world, but your money is just in another country. That's all. We have money. We just don't have access to it at this point in time. We are rich. We just don't have access to those riches at this point in time. Okay? So we have to just endure, keep our faith in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And for those who disagree with the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, hey, let them remain in their pride and they'll be destroyed. Okay? Those who trust in their riches, they'll be destroyed. Because gain is not godliness. The ungodly prosper in this world. But really, we're the rich guys. We're the most wealthiest men on this earth if we endure. Okay? And to the rest of the nation of Israel, compared to the rest of the heathens, we are going to be, as a whole, the richest nation of people on earth. Because if the 2/3 come out the loins of the elect as their children, well, does not a parent take care of their children and their grandchildren and their great-great-grandchildren and their great-great-great-great-grandchildren? Yes. So by default, if the elect's rich, the rest of the nation will be rich as well. Okay? So, hey, if we suffer, take it cheerfully. The Lord will pull us through. We are rich. Don't be deceived by your afflictions and the low state that you've been placed in. All right, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai is soon to increase us, and once He returns, we are going to receive glory right along with that man. So, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Kahala Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai. Shalom.